I should have used the one on the other side. These are postcards. These are the actual size of the postcards.
Oh.
But the one thing is, these are 8 by 10 black and white photos, and then they would send them to artists and they would paint them to make them color pictures.
Oh, okay.
So you can
So back
see
in those days, it wasn't a color photograph that back then. They had
Right.
to paint them up to
Up
make them
in-
colorized.
up until World War II, the United States Army, they used color film. But this was for bomb assessments during the war. They did not want anybody to know about what they had, because a black and white picture will show you damage.
Mm-hmm.
There's a hole in the ground, but it never shows you around the area what collateral damage was done.
Mm-hmm.
Color pictures did.
Oh.
So up until 1952, they held it in check, and then they gave George Eastman the go-ahead to put this on the commercial market. But only professional photographers could afford to do the color film.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the late 60s, late 50s, that's when they brought out the Brownie,
Mm-hmm.
Kodak Brownie, and then the Hawkeye. And then that's when we got the modern age of color film, the way we know it. But this is an oil painting.
Mm.
And we have another one, which is, okay, this is a black and white combination. The difference with this is, this was the black and white. You notice the sky is in blue,
Yeah.
except for one thing. This was early Photoshop. This was laid on a plate with the clouds. If you go back here, I have, okay. Where's the other one? Oh, the other one shows it better. We have the cloud formation, even though this is painted. Look at the clouds, they're very similar.
Oh, yeah.
This was painted off of this plate.
Mm.
And we have a cellar. Oh, here's a better one.
Oh, yeah.
See the clouds? You move this over,
Mhm.
this cloud is down here. So it would sit on the same plate with it, and it was a black and white picture.
Wow.
So this is what they were
I
doing.
never knew.
Yeah, me neither. And I had to dig all this up, and I talked to different people. Same clouds.
Same clouds.
And this was done in oil painting here. And we have several others which are watercolored, which are on the other side. But this is what they were doing because they wanted the people to be drawn to it. A black and white picture is fine, but then when you add color to it, then it wants to see, I want to see if those colors match.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why these became so popular. These were 2 cents to purchase and 3 cents to mail.
Whoa. Whoa.
But these,
Here's one place that I tried to get to. Where is it? Where is it here?
Yeah,
2 arrows or twin arrows?
yeah,
There's only 1 arrow now.
yeah. The other one fell down
Yeah.
from what people tell me. And that the trading post, they're trying to reopen it as a museum and put
Oh.
the arrows back up.
Okay. Because the building that was back here, when I drove by it, it was all graffiti.
Yes.
Just all graffiti.
Yeah. They thought they were in Amarillo for some reason, like they
Yeah.
graffitied the cars.
Yeah, and I've been up to Cadillac Ranch too.
Oh, okay.
And that was an interesting, and I've learned something on that place too. I can't get a good shot of it. There it is. That's a better shot.
Okay.
There's an artist that goes out there and chips off the paint because they're painting so much on these Cadillacs that the paint gets real thick. So he turns them into brooches and rings and a bunch of art things, polishes them up. They look pretty. and he sends them all over the world.
From what we were hearing, once a year they go out there and they paint over the cars so that people can go back and start redoing it again.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when I was stationed down in Amarillo, we didn't have that. That came in after I was in the Air Force and had left Amarillo. In fact, when I, and oh God, this Riverwalk, San Antonio. When I was in the Air Force, my first leave in the Air Force for basic training, Riverwalk was only 1 block. And now they said it runs the entire length of the river now. So that used to be the red light district down there. That's all the strip clubs and everything.
Which way are we going? Still on the side here? Okay.
Now, this area here willed this to us after they died. They lived and worked on Route 66. This was the western portion, and this was the cowboy portion. And they said they did not want it to be hidden away, so they willed it to us so that we could display it for public consumption. I said, okay, we'll do that. You know, he was trying to move Slim in. Took 3 of us in a hand cart to get him in here.
Oh, wow.
He'll rock back and forth, but to lift and move
Lift him up, you can't do it, huh? Slim is a little bit heavy.
Oh, yeah.
He needs to go on a diet?
Oh, big time. And the one thing that flabbergasted us, this, from what we understand, not sure, this is the last signing he had in San Bernardino before he and Wally Post took off for Alaska. 3 days later, that's when they crashed.
Oh, no.
So that was the, so I guess that's the most valuable piece in there, I guess you can say. Sentimental-wise for me, anyway. Because I always heard about him, and I saw him in a couple of movies when I was a kid, and I always thought he was funny. So when I started reading his books and everything in the military, and then I thought, oh, okay, he did have something. When he said he never met a man he didn't like, politician.
Hey.
But these are the things that we carried on with. And, a trailer. This is the 1980s version of the original trailer of the 1920s. This was the first magazine article that they sent to Mechanics Illustrated. The funny part is, the top of the page, that's how much it costs to build. $60.
I don't see it. Where do I say? Oh, it's real tiny down there on the very bottom. Yeah, I'll just zoom in on this. There it is, $60.
$60. And
Back in 1957, my mom and dad took us from California to Colorado River and pulled our neighbor's teardrop with us, and that was in '57. So, and we'll have a picture of my mom back here cooking a meal. That was cool.
Now, what they didn't tell you was that $60, $5 went for the blueprint because the blueprints in the magazines and articles were wrong or they didn't have numbers in them. $5 went for the blueprint, but amazingly enough, you had to build it yourself. A lot of people did not have the ability or the tools
To build it themselves.
So 2 guys down in Pasadena, and they make the roseberry for it. They rented a chicken coop. Got the blueprints, they built the trailers, and then rolled them out onto Colorado Boulevard, and that's where they think the small trailer industry got started.
Oh, wow.
We're sitting there laughing our heads off on that one.
Yeah.
But amazingly enough, if you look at the side of the trailer from this side, it's an airplane thing. It's the Wright Brothers movie.
Oh.
And from what I hear, this is built for 4 cylinder parts. Once you got the vehicle up to 50 miles an hour, this would actually lift off the springs and off the axle. So it was no weight at all. The weight you would drag on with the wheels and the axle, shock absorbers. Once you got under 50, then it would settle back down, and they said, yeah, you could feel the lugging of the engine when it comes back down.
Oh, I didn't know that either, but I can see it. It has the wing shape to it.
And you can still buy these in San Diego. Before the pandemic, the company, Little Giant, they used to send us brochures and we would sit them out here and people would take them. And it was something.
Well, my brother Bob will be interested in that because he still has a teardrop in his backyard.
Oh, okay. That would work.
I wonder if that year has the same kind of shape to it. It was a home-built one, so I don't know if the shape would be good enough or just like a wing, like this one
It
is.
should have that wing
Effect.
configuration to it.
Yeah. Yep.
Hello, brother.
How you doing?
Very good. Our switchboard. This belonged to AT&T, and they donated it to us. And then we had the other switchboard that came out of one of the hotels that was torn down here in Victorville. So we normally let people sit down and put the headphones
Pretend
on.
they're doing an operation. Operator.
Yes. Now my wife is a retired New York City operator.
Oh.
So she worked these in the 60s when I was trying to marry her, but we got married 47 years later.
Okay.
And she started on a switchboard, and then when she retired, she was pushing a computer, which she didn't like. So that was the funny part about it. Oh, hot foot. Oh, she's going the other way. Oh yeah. This is my pride and joy in here. This is the Victorville room.
Okay.
Now this room here, this has the oldest picture in the museum. This picture was taken in 1860.
Panoramic picture kind of thing.
Right? And what they did was take several panels and then link them together. That's why you see the lines in the center of it. Now the picture underneath of it was taken within 6 feet of where the first one was taken, but this was taken after World War II.
Whoa.
Now the big
Pre-World War II and after World War II.
Now the big difference is the mountain appearing on this side in 1860 is now appearing on the right-hand side in the 1940s.
So it's that stuff over, actually a little over there then, huh?
Right? Well, the reason they did that is because the black picture on the wall with the river and the one above it, that's across the street. That's the Mojave River.
Oh.
We call it the Mojave Triple now because they cut the water off and they're selling it down below. We get the water when it rains. But to get those there, how do you get that water from down here up to the top of the hill where this is? No matter how you leave this museum, except going to Barstow, you have to climb up the hill, including the 15. So how do you get the water up there? With the wooden water pipe. This is made out of wood.
Okay.
This is a replacement pipe, and the way it was built was they would bring the hardwood trees out of the mountains, put it on a giant lathe, have the blade cut into the bark, and then roll it over to a secondary roller. Once the interior became 2 to 2.5 inches thick, then that's when they put the iron flanges on each end, sealed it, put an iron collar on it, and then ready to go into the ground. Now this is a replacement pipe that was put in the ground in 1917. It was taken out of the ground in 1956. It was still an operating water line when they removed it.
Wow.
So that is our claim to fame with this one. We've had several other people come in with different pipe style, wooden pipe styles. Over in the Mojave, I should say the Victorville Museum over on Bear Valley Road, they have one that looks like a barrel, like you store wine in. But that's the way it was cut, and that was used as a water line. East Coasters, like myself, we're used to seeing the trees that were bored through, put together with a collar wrapped up, and then that was a water line. So this, you have various different styles of water pipe made out of wood from different portions of the country.
Amazing.
We're not sure what started it, but we're thinking it was a
A
car.
lot of kids, they love this because
They want to
many
start
of
hunting
them,
button pick.
they've never
push
seen
buttons.
one.
Oh, okay.
And they're fascinated
So you
by,
ask the kid what this is.
they're fascinated by the keys coming up and hitting the paper because they're used to computers now.
Yeah.
So to them, and I tell them when I was in school and I learned how to type, if you had a report and you had 3 pages and you looked at the last page and said, oh, the last page, a certain paragraph should go to the first page, you had to start typing all over again instead of cut and paste in the computer. And they look at me like I'm crazy, like, you gotta be crapping me. No, that's the way we had to do it.
Yep.
So now I lost the ability to write after I had my brain operation, so now I can still type. I carry my portable with me, and anytime I go out do business or a doctor's appointment and I have to fill paperwork out, I'll type. And you hear the tap, 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 and people's heads will swivel around and going, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
And then they'll notice me, and then they'll come over and they're fascinated by the keys coming up and hitting the paper. Okay.
Well, I don't think it's been that long, but evidently it has been that long that the typewriter was.
Typewriter was king.
Yeah.
And then you have the word processors and then the computers.
Yeah.
I got all of those at home.
The word processor or computer?
Both.
Okay.
I have my early, my Texas Instrument I sold, but I still have my Tandy computer and my Radio Shack computer. I sold a big printer that was about that big that took the big green paper. I had to get rid of that. It kept dancing all over the room. It kept wrecking things. So I says, okay, so
Hope you've enjoyed Victorville. I have one more part. Part 5 will be the last part, and then I'll be back on the road traveling on Route 66.